All right, so welcome everyone today to our program. Let's start as we do very often by finding a comfortable seat on the ground. If this is very challenging, you might fetch a chair and sit on the edge of the chair, but otherwise try to find a comfortable way to sit on the ground. If you need to, sit on the edge of a blanket or a pillow. It can be very helpful in turning your hips forward a little bit more so that you're comfortable. You can also extend your legs if your body is really uncomfortable in the seated posture. So whatever works for you, you can sit against the wall as well. And we're going to tune in together this morning by closing the eyes down. And we tune in this way because in our practice, especially in the virtual world, we're really connecting on a level of consciousness. Consciousness connects regardless of time or space. So just allow a few moments, there are more people arriving, to really center in an awareness of your inner perception, the consciousness that is flowing into your body and that is looking out of the eyes, that is aware of the bodily sensations, that can witness the breath in its own natural rhythms. Most often we experience ourselves as this sort of finite, fixed person. And the truth of the matter is that we are pure consciousness filtering down into this incarnation, into this body, and this expression through the personality, through our many likes and dislikes. But primarily, we are the flow of consciousness that is pouring into this body, that animates it. So let's take a few moments to connect with that essence by breathing slowly, calmly. When you're breathing in your yoga practice, allow the breath to expand down into the lowest part of the lungs. And this is accomplished by relaxing the belly outward. Oftentimes, especially if there's undigested emotional experiences, but more often it's just a habit of the culture that we live in, we hold the muscles of the belly tight, like we're pulling them inward, and it prevents the breath from really expanding. The great Saint Ananda said that all efforts should lead back to a greater sense of effortlessness. And this is the essence of our yoga asana practice, that we are practicing in a relaxed and a joyful manner, that all of our sense of effort, our paying attention in our practice lead to a greater sense of grace and effortlessness in the body. For most of this class, you can just allow your breath to flow naturally as it would. Rather than stretching in the body or directing the body in a firm way, let greater sense of relaxation and ease direct your practice. And you'll find that there's a greater sense of joy. And ironically, there's a deeper stretch in the practice. Let's awaken the curious mind in this practice this morning. It's that childlike nature that is within all of us, that is interested, it's curious about how the body's moving, how the breath likes to express. All right, we'll join the hands together in prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, sitting tall in your spine if there has been any slouching in this opening sequence. Let's take a moment here to feel our sense of heart connection uniting together. Connecting not from a place of mind or personality, but the very foundation of our awareness. Let's let that begin to synchronize between all the people in this group. Time does not matter. Space does not matter. So feeling consciousness pouring in to the base of the skull, the back side of the head, top of the spine, flooding into your body, and then expressing outward. Nice deep breath, relaxing and allowing the flow of energy to enter into the body and connect to all others in the group. And let's very gently inhale, we'll extend the arms, so sweeping up around the body and reaching up overhead, and then very gently descending down with the hands to the center of the heart. You can think of your hands and your fingers like little scissors cutting the cords of attachment to outside moments. And as you exhale, you're sealing that energy back into the spine. So recall yourself, every aspect of yourself, reaching and breathing and drawing yourself back into center. Recall awareness that may be preoccupied with past memories or experiences, future endeavors, and align yourself right here and now in the center of the spine. Take a few more rounds to feel this gathering sense of breath and awareness. Most important in this practice is to listen for the breath and then let the movement initiate. In this way, the limbs become light. They become energized by the flow of your practice. You can think of the prana body or prananmayakosha as the blueprint that informs the physical body. And when we begin to align ourselves with the prananmayakosha, we find that the physical body becomes very light and effortless. We find greater sense of energy. Good, hands into the heart. The next time that you're ready, we're going to inhale and reach them up overhead. And this time, just circle the hands and gently release the arms all the way down to the ground. And then reverse the direction along with the rotation of the wrists. And one more time, just a little circling, opening into the body here. Next time, arms are up above the head. Inhale and sit tall in your spine. You may even draw one hand to the top of the head or the crown and pretend like you're plucking the energy from the crown of the head up into the heavenly sphere above you. If shoulders are sensitive, sit in your Anjali Mudra, but otherwise, we're going to remain conductive here for a few moments. Activating in the prana body, reach long through the spine. When you're ready and you feel that sense of inner authority directing you to the next aspect of your practice, slowly descend down with the hands, and we'll just bathe the field around the body by lowering the hands like magnets, very gently passing through the field of your awareness, down the body, down the heart, down to the region of the belly. Extend hands down up to the ground and touch, if you can, for a moment. When the next inhalation comes for you, gently draw the hands towards the body. We're going to lift as we breathe into the belly, extending and reaching, lifting energy up the body, through the head, send it all the way up to the sky, and feel that great sense of lift. Let's try that again by gently just dropping the hands down around the body, and inhale and lift with the breath, lift the energy through the spine. True pranayama is not breath control, but energy control. So relieve the hands down and out of the way. The hands just symbolize the rising of energy. Inhale to lift. Look upward and inward if you can. And then just evaporate. Let the hands come down and out of the way. Good. Just take a moment to pause here in stillness. So it's with this inner posture that we practice this morning. And you can feel how different this might be from the way that you normally come into your practice. But it's from this deep inner reservoir of awareness that our postures become much more than a physical adventure, but they become a way that we can directly impact the consciousness. So let's take the hands and we'll rub them up in front of the heart to begin. I find this to be a nice practice. You can open your eyes by now if you'd like, but rubbing in front of the heart, we just sort of clear out any feeling that might be stuck, might be stagnant. Then we'll go down by the belly, just clearing out any energy in the field of our awareness. Good, and above the head is a nice place to go. Breathe generously, nice deep breath, activating. Good, one more time into the heart. You can slow the movement down if the arms get a little tired. Down by the belly. Up over the head. Good, let's inhale and press the palms like you're lifting the ceiling away. Deep breath in through the nose. Very gently, you can bathe the energy around you like you're forming a luminous bubble of energy around the body. If you need to adjust the legs at any time in this practice, feel free. We'll take soft fists to the heart, double inhalation in, and then relax and double exhale, extend the arms out. You're extending the magnetic field of the heart. Double inhale, relaxing outward. One more time. Relaxing outward. Let's just gently release the hands behind the body, and you can let the legs come free. And we'll join in our practice. Now you can open your eyes, become a little more outward, just enough that you can wave your knees side to side. At any point in this practice, feel the liberty to close the eyes down, to internalize the experience. If you feel at any point that you're sort of lost in thought, I would invite you to open your eyes and practice with open eyes, deep awareness. In this particular adventure, be heavy in the hips. It's almost like you're rolling a bowling ball from one side to the other, and it'll press out these little muscles on the side. They're reaching from the inner glute to the outer side. As the knees go to one side, lift and puff the chest, and then rock to the other side. So this posture, or this little warm-up, is a great way to extend through the side body, to lift in the heart. Just getting everything a little more comfortable here. So we're going to roll off to our right side, extend your left leg out nice and long, and leave your hand behind you and lay your body for a moment. So you're sort of bulging in the ribs here. It's a great way to open into the side body. Send your opposite arm reaching down the other leg and begin to either look in the opposite direction, or you can look down towards your extended arm. You can point the toes of your extended foot if you'd like. And we're going to roll to the side and lift into our side plank. So seal the heel and foot down to the ground, and then lift yourself and sneak that knee underneath the body. Go ahead and draw right down from the earth. Pull energy into the sky, feeling that your heart is an extension into the arms. Breathing, nice deep breath. Let's take some circles. We're still early on here. So watching with the gaze, inhale, very intentional, relaxed and controlled as you circle the top arm around. Breathing, not rushing through any points, but indulging and exploring the points of the body that may need more attention. Let's take one in the opposite direction, and this will close us down. So settle both hands to the ground, then bow the hips and slide the knee out of the way. You're back down on the ground, send fingers reaching, knees are bending. Take a few more rounds of rocking just to flush the low spine. Nice deep breath. The idea here is to get nice and soft in the body. I think one of the great measures of how much effort you have in your practice is whether or not you can smile in any particular pose. If you cannot smile in the pose, then you've gone too far to the serious side of the practice. Let's go ahead and roll over to our side. So we're on left side now. You leave bottom leg down, top leg extends out long, and just lay back into this arm for a moment. You almost lay into the shoulder. Then send the opposite arm reaching down, and you'll feel all these little muscles awakening, the intercostals between the ribs. You can look down the extended arm, or some of us prefer to look up and out. Just here for a moment of breathing. So as you're ready, the toes are going to point over towards the side. We're going to press our hands into the ground and slide the bottom knee underneath the body. Then you can send up into your side plank pose, reaching to the sky. The affirmation for side plank: the calm fires of my concentration burn all restlessness, all distraction. So feel that sense that as you hold this posture, we're in a simple version to begin. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distraction. When you're ready to come down, just gently sweep the top arm down. If you felt like you needed a circle or two, go ahead and free up to the sky. But all paths lead back down to the ground. Both hands down, slide the knee out of the way so you're laying on the side of the body. Let's reorient ourselves to the front side with both legs extended nice and long, and you can rub the legs here. So go up the inside, cross the hip crease down the outside. So in the Chinese systems, like Qigong and Tai Chi, they teach you to draw up the inside. This is the yin aspect, rising energy, and down the outside, or yang. It's a nice way to think of circulating energy around the legs. Good. So we're going to lift. You can either bend your knees and settle feet down onto the ground. We're listening in a reverse tabletop pose. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower, or keep legs extended. And we'll inhale to lift and look over the navel. Good. So inhaling to rise, the affirmation: with a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. So feeling some of that Kundalini energy activating at the base of the spine. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. If you have the freedom to do so in your body, stay lifted in the pose for 2 full breaths here. Repeating as you gaze over your navel: with a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. Say it with conviction. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. And then slowly lowering down. Good. Take fingers pointing to the sides again, knees bending, and flush out the spine. Nice little opening, relaxing in the spine. When knees go one way, look off to the other way, sort of dramatic. Breathing. Good. Let's come right back into the pose. So fingertips pointing towards heels if you're going to straighten the legs. Otherwise, you can find a hand position that works for you. But when you're ready, inhale to lift. Repeating inwardly as you lift the heart and squeeze thighs and glutes. We'll hold the pose. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. One more time. Relaxing, but finding that inner reservoir of energy. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. Slowly lowering yourself down. Let's take the counter pose. If it's challenging for you to lean forward, come on the tips of the fingers and just start looking over the toes. Like a little pulsing here will wake up backside of the knees. If you have the flexibility to do so and your body allows, you can fold yourself forwards a little bit more. The affirmation for Paschimottanasana or forward fold: I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. So relaxing your way forward: I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. Make sure to release the back of the neck and the head in any version that you're choosing. Little pulses. As you inhale, you might back out an inch, and then exhale, sort of lean a little bit further, respecting the time that it takes for your body to open in a relaxed way. Right? We don't need to sort of break down the door in our practice. It's typically unlocked if you just calmly turn the knob and walk through. And if it's not, move on to the next one. Let's inhale. We're going to slowly rise up here, and we'll bend the knees and fold the feet out of the way. We're going to come on to hands and knees. And just take a moment here to extend your foot out. So reach the right foot back, and then reach the left foot back behind you. A couple big steps here, extending, pointing the toes, and then coming back and down. Good. All right, let's inhale. We're going to dive downward with our nose, and then inhale and peel back up, pulling on heels of the hands slightly as you reach into your cow pose. Good. And then let's bow back into child's pose and roll up through our cat position here. So the child's pose is a nice release point. Inhale, stay low, and then peel up. And then exhale, bow back and release, and tuck the tail. We were practicing yesterday. This little sequence gives you great awareness of the length of the spine and the way that it articulates. So the next time you go through cat, tuck the tail underneath and follow with your awareness through the low back, through backside of the heart to the crown of the head. And then same on the cow. As you bow the belly, follow through low spine, mid back, upper back, crown of the head. Good. Practicing with awareness of the spine will transform the experience. We'll rise in a downward facing dog as is natural, tucking toes underneath. Keep knees deeply bent as you sort of creep into this first version of your down dog. You can pedal side to side. Backs of the knees might be still waking up for you. Press off top of the palm and tips of the fingers. Repeating the affirmation, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Looking towards the lap, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Let's walk ourselves to the back of the mat, freeing into forward folding pose. Take feet nice and wide here. You might heel toe a little bit wider and leave the toes pointing outward. Good. Swing the head a couple times. Yes, like a bell. For some of us, we might need to brace our forearms on our thighs, and that's fine. Just go ahead and do so. But swing the head a couple times, releasing any binding in the backside of the neck. Good. Circle the head if you can. Relax, circling. Freeing all the little muscles in the throat that have to do with your self-expression. Reverse the rotation. Eyes open if you ever get lightheaded or dizzy. We're going to prepare to rise by stacking one hand at a time up onto the thigh, and you're going to inhale and push yourself right up into standing pose. Squeeze the legs, and we'll inhale and broadcast the arms in the capital letter V shape here. Nice deep breath. Good, let's dive back into the depths of the practice. We're going to draw the hands down the body, bend the knees, and slowly begin to return. You're pouring the contents of your thinking mind into the ground. All your thoughts like compost. Repeating the affirmation for this alternative version of forward folding pose. Nothing on earth can hold me. Nothing on earth can hold me. And we're going to add to this affirmation, hands onto the knees, begin to rise. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Extend the arms up to the sky and practice like you mean it. Exhale, come all the way down and release the contents of the head. Nothing on earth can hold me. Feel all attachments being severed. Nothing on earth can hold me. When you're ready to rise, inhale and push your way off the thighs. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Nice deep breath, arms wide in victory position here. Good. Let's do this one more time. Exhaling, you can turn the palms out and slowly drop them to the knees, but bow the body forwards here. Bend the knees and release the head. Nothing on earth can hold me. Inhale, rise and press from the earth. Rise, oh my soul, in freedom. Arms to the sky. Breathe into that sense of victory. And let it all turn down. Let's heel toe the feet closer together. Take little steps to come in and just close the eyes. Relax the whole body. Inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. Notice the currents of energy circulating in the body. Enthusiasm is a great quality in the practice. Just be careful of excitement energy. Let everything be calm. All right. Noticing the flow of energy in the body. Let's inhale and extend the arms. We'll reach all the way up into the sky. Exhale, you could take a more traditional forward fold, laying the body over the lap. Let's inhale like you're coming to the surface for fresh breath, lifting into your halfway lift, and then exhale and pour the body forwards here. A couple more times, inhaling to lift, reaching through crown of the head. Better to bend the knees and keep long spine than round the back, and exhale forwards. One breath per movement in your own timing. And then exhale, folding. So relax the low spine. I personally like to press off my thighs a little and hold elbows close to the body and then pour back down. Good, we'll inhale and rise up halfway. This time we're coming all the way up. So pour the body down, round the back as you bend the knees and reach away from the earth. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, on my soul, in freedom. Arms all the way up to the sky. And then we'll circulate them out nice and wide and down here. Good. Let's step feet close together. We're going to come into a warrior three pose. So for some of us, we'll step our right foot back and we'll stay on tips of the toes, slight bend in the front knee. Hold hands into the heart. For many of us, this is as far as our body will go today. And this is an ample expression of the pose. If you'd like to go further, you start to rock off the back foot and lift that foot. And dorsiflex the back foot, so toes come up towards your face like you're standing on the wall, and slowly you can begin to come and hinge forwards. Keep the toes flexed, pushing through the sole of the foot. Breathing nice deep breath here. If you feel the desire to do so, you might extend the arms out a little bit further, but notice the space of the low spine. Don't push beyond what the body is ready to do. Extend in all directions, crown of the head, front and back of the heart, bottom of the foot. When you're ready to lower down, let it be slow and controlled, like one of those little pink birds that you see on the office desk. You just slowly begin to rise up and settle that foot down. We'll shift weight right onto the other side and circle this foot out. So letting it get a nice flush in the left side of the hip and reverse the direction. Recharging the hip. One more time, we'll just circle around and then reverse. Good. All right, feet back together. Let's do other side expressing here. So you're going to step weight onto the right foot. Left foot can come back just enough to tip of the toes and a slight bend in the front knee. And you can pause here with your hands and your heart. Just keep weight shifting towards the front leg in this version. And then as you're ready, if you so desire, you might slowly begin to rock forwards. Flex the back toes, most important part, and then wrap the belly in nice and stable here in the body and lift the back heel, squeezing into the thigh, breathing calm, expansive breath. Breathing, nice deep breathing. Keep extending if you want a different expression with the arms. You can open your wingspan if you want. Here is a nice way to invite more challenge to the pose. Very few of us will extend arms forward just to keep the low back safe. So breathe. You might have a stronger side of your body. This could be that side. It might be the weaker side of the body. Stay with it if you can. Nice long deep breath. Notice the inner narrative. If you can't smile, it's not worth it. Come slowly rising back, lowering that foot down to the ground. Very gentle. And we'll just take that side right away, standing onto the left foot, circling out the right leg. All right. Everyone still smiling in their practice over there? It's really important. If you can't be joyful, better to do less. All right, good. Let's go ahead and we'll take feet hips distance apart. We're going to dive into the hips once more here in Utkatasana. So first version of this pose, take hands into the heart and push the weight onto the heels. If you really want to be honest, lift your toes and you'll know that the weight is rocking back towards the heels. And you might sort of just wash up and down here, taking a few breaths to really settle in. The alternate version of this pose, if you don't have pain in your knees or discomfort in your knees regularly, you can try this pose with me. So you rock up onto the ball of the foot and lift the heels, and you'll notice your hips come right under your shoulders. So this is a different version of Utkatasana, also known as awkward pose. And then you can send hands reaching out. Settle heels down if you need to, but try to keep them lifted. We'll all repeat together, my body is no burden. I am light as air. Regardless of the sensation in your body, affirm, my body is no burden. I am light as air. One more time in the pose. My body is no burden. I am light as air. Okay, calm release wherever you are. Heels connect down to the ground. Use the energy of the legs to inhale and rise, reaching the arms above. Good, let's exhale, hands into the heart and just close the eyes and watch the parts of the body that are activated. When we energize the legs, there is a powerful flow of energy that starts to move up through the spine. All right, let's open the eyes gently, fluttering. We'll inhale, send arms reaching out nice and wide. As you're ready, you can exhale, hands down through the heart. Good, let's oxygenate the body just to wake the legs back up. Arms extended long. We're going to slightly bend the knees and then double inhale and lift. And then release. Again. So squeeze the arms as you draw out. Nice big tension in the arms. And then release completely. Like you're opening the biggest rubber band. Good, lots of energy moving into the body, entering through base of the skull. One more time. And then exhale, just turn the hands down, stand in your fullness here. Good, come right onto the ball of the foot, activating rising quality of energy through the body. All right, we're going to extend backwards here by holding onto the hips, coming to the front of your mat. Any which way that you'd like. You can take one step, you can take two steps. Some of us will hover all the way back and come back to the edge of our mat. So heel is down and foot is pointed towards a diagonal. We're going to open the hips out to the side here. So this is our warrior two pose. Go ahead and inhale and draw energy up through the inner thighs, through the belly, into the heart, up above the head. And we're going to just blossom, palms facing up, looking over the front hand. When you're ready, drop the hands down. Let's do that again. Remember, you're learning to feel flows of energy in the body. So inhale and lift up, great weightlessness, freeing from the spine any burdensome feelings. Good, let's look into the front palm. And this is the quality that we're bringing into our life. So whatever you wish to behold in yourself in this moment, if it's strength or calm or joy, let's look to the back palm, and this is the quality that you're releasing. Go ahead and turn the back palm down towards the back leg, releasing and freeing yourself. And inhale as reach the top palm up to the sky and energize the quality that we are bringing into our life. Front knee stays bent. Pushing down through soles of the feet, drawing in and up through the inner thighs. Your torso, like the trunk of the tree, is stable, and you're reaching up into the heavens to bring that quality closer to the activating sunshine. Good. When you're ready to, we're going to join both hands into the heart and just hold over the heart. So blessing both of our offerings here. When you're ready to release out of the pose, just slide hands down to the hips. We're going to take maybe one hop, maybe two. Some of us can do one all the way to the front. Just let it be smooth. Good, let's bend the knees, and we're going to circle down and then open the arms and stand back up. Good, again, you're bowing down. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Again, nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. One more time with a smile. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Hands into the heart. Let's just take a pause, close the eyes, release the hands, and watch left and right sides of the body temple. Can you feel the activation on the left side of the body? All right, beautiful job, everyone. We'll open the eyes, coming to the front of the mat, and we'll extend the opposite side back. So left foot just sort of wandering behind you. You can take a couple of steps until it connects down to the earth. And we'll bend into this front leg. So your hips are opening out to the side of your mat. Good. Just like we did on the other side, get the back leg nice and taut here, straight and solid like a telephone pole. You're going to reach down and draw up through the inner thighs, lift through the pelvic floor, mula bandh, and reach the arms out and around, and then extend them. So you get a sense of the foundation. Use the hands, inhaling, guide the energy up, lift through the solar plexus, open in the heart, and then let the energy expand out. Good. Crown of the head nice and tall. Looking into the front palm. Beholding yourself, the true self. Loving, kind, compassionate. It's like we did on the other side, turning the gaze to the backhand, all that no longer serves you. At one point in time, it may have protected you. It may have been just what you needed. And so we give thanks and gratitude to those qualities, and we free them, release them to the back leg, and then reach up through your new sense of self, rising up into the heavens. Nice deep breathing. And feel it charged, your arms like a lightning rod, conducting the energy of this new sense of self pouring into the body. With calm feeling, we'll return to center. Both hands come to hold onto the heart, loving every aspect of self. When you're ready, you can slowly draw hands down to the hips and start to shift the weight up onto this front foot. And you take a step, or maybe 2 steps, maybe 3, and you get all the way to the front. Good, let's just rinse the body again. So bend the knees and circle up. Good, and then exhale, bend the knees, and then inhale, circle up. All right, exhale, hands down into heart to pause, or you could free them by the hips and just close the eyes. Inner gaze is going to rise up the spine to the point between the 2 eyebrows. Inwardly repeating the affirmation for Tadasana. I stand ready to obey thy least command. This is an affirmation of humility, ready to obey thy least command of the intuitive mind, of the greater sense of self. I stand ready to obey thy least command. Feeling the calm readiness circulating through your body, attentive and alive. We're going to slowly open the eyes and come to the front of our mat. So let's do right foot reaching all the way back, and you're going to go onto the long side of your mat. So if you're using one foot at the front of the mat, one foot's at the back. And you don't need to necessarily be super wide on your mat, but if you'd like to, if you're working in that aspect of your practice, feel free to go where you're ready. Let's inhale, we'll draw through the inner thighs, right into the heart. Exhale and broadcast out of the heart, sending that great goodwill out beyond you. And just stay here in this expanded state for a few moments. Breathing nice deep breath. Keep your tail tucked under ever so slightly, just so that the glute muscles are supporting in the legs. Hug the inner thighs. Let's flip the palms up and then just reach into a wide V shape. It's a beautiful shape in the body. You could feel a great outpouring of energy from the center of the spine to every limb, energizing you. You might repeat the affirmation here, an alternate version of Muktasan: I am free, I am free. And speak it with conviction and a smile. I am free, I am free. All right, when you're ready to release, it's calm and centered, hands pass down through the heart. And very gentle, we're lowering down. Some of us may need to bend the knees and use the forearms to rest. If you can just pour your head down towards the ground, shifting weight onto the ball of the foot. So coming forward, if you don't readily meet the ground, just brace the forearms on the thighs. Bend knees more if you need to. Straighten the legs as is available for you in your practice. And release the head to the ground. The affirmation that we're repeating together, let's do it together so that there's a sense of a pulsation of this affirmation in our collective group this morning. So together, I'll say it once and then we'll do it together. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. All right, together. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Good. Feel yourself get a little lighter. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Let's do one silent. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Lift energy to the point between the two eyebrows one last time. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. If you can, pull your heels in towards the center so your toes are pointing out, and we're just sort of going to rock side to side here. So bend one knee deeply and then go over to the other side. It could be nice to use your forearms if you need them. You can even hold on to the legs and just go side to side. Others of us will be all the way down towards the ground, and you can lower the hips. So as deep as your hips are ready to sort of open in this practice. It's nice to use the hands to walk side to side. All right. When you're ready, we'll slowly rise out of the pose by standing up onto the legs. So slowly rising, and then you just heel toe together. It's a nice way to sort of incrementally come back. Good. All right, when you get into your full standing pose, just take a moment here to rest. Sort of like when they come to clean the fish tank and they start disturbing all of the sediment that has settled. Just let the energy that has been stirred up to gently settle. Inner gaze is always at the point between the two eyebrows. Heart quality is soft, smiling, abiding in inner joy. Let's gently flutter the eyes open. We'll extend the arms, letting things slow down and calm now. Moving to a different sense of maturation in the practice. Hands down through the heart center. One more time. Inhaling, sending arms up to the sky. Exhaling. We're going to take a bow forwards here. So whether you're at the top of the mat or the back of the mat, all paths lead in a downward facing dog. So walking yourself into this posture. Let your heels be heavy. Let the inner narrative be filled with the affirmation, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. No part of the body is sort of asleep or barely holding on, but there's a calm, intentional approach to the posture. Heels are heavy. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Looking to your lap. You might sort of knead with the lips a little bit here, scrunch the eyes and the face. Anytime that you're ready to, you can come down into child's pose. For those of us who have practiced the pose for a while and we're looking to expand our inner experience of it, remain in the pose and remember Ananda Ma's wisdom. All efforts lead to greater effortlessness. We'll all come into child's pose when we're ready. We're going to take a deep rest here. Child's pose can be arms extended out in front of the body, or if there's no pressure on the head and you can release them behind, sometimes that's a nice experience. The affirmation for child's pose: I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. All the energy rising through your spine to the point between the two eyebrows. Feel your inner peace expanding like a great white light from the point between the two eyebrows, bathing every cell in the body. Affirming inwardly, I am light, I am pure, unconditionally loving awareness. I am light, I am pure, unconditionally loving awareness. Now, when you feel the inner impulse, the rising energy carrying inhalation into the body, you can slowly begin to rise up out of the pose. So we're going to just slide off of our ankles, so we're not spending any time there. Feet coming back down to the ground. Let's take one counter pose here before we descend down, holding on the back side of the thighs. Go ahead and seal the feet and the knees close together and lift through the chest. So this pose has many ways of experiencing. In this practice today, let's focus on just leaning back enough that maybe the toes lift and keep the awareness in the spine. So your hands are rather firm on the back side of your thighs, almost creating a counter pressure so that your heart can pull forwards. And we want to reach through the crown of the head, feeling this pipeline of the spine wide open with great vitality rushing upward. You might think of the power and the energy of Niagara Falls pouring from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. Nothing able to stand that torrential flow of your inner awakening. When you've had enough of this particular experience, you're ready to soften down to the ground. You just very gently begin to round the low back and roll your way back and down onto the ground. Take knees in towards the chest here and hug into a little ball. So a nice counter pose, holding steady. Relax in the thighs, especially in the hips and their crease. If you like rocking side to side, feel free. Try to keep the eyes closed for the duration of the practice. Our final inquiry in this practice today is some version of an inverting pose. So feel free, you can sit on to soft fists and inner wrist, and this is a great way to send your feet up to the sky. It's gentle. If you'd like to try supported shoulder stand, then plug your elbows into the ground and sweep the feet up over the head, and then lift as you push into the elbows, lift your hips into your hands and hold the hips in the hands. You'll have to sort of play with whether the feet are close to the face or whether they're right over the hips. Find that neutral position that you can sustain. For anybody working on shoulder stand, it's sort of an easy transition here where you start walking your hands up the back higher and higher, and you lift your toes taller and pull the pelvis towards the chin or towards the face. In any of these inversions, there should be a little arch in the backside of the neck. So lift your nose and drop your nose, and you should be able to roll a marble underneath there just a little bit, no flat necks. Now we're going to sustain the pose for several breaths, even another minute or so here, but if you need to come down, feel the liberty to do so by bending the knees and releasing out of any of the poses. If you feel called to do another pose, feel free. The affirmation for supportive shoulder stand: awake my sleeping powers, awake. You might inquire, what sleeping powers are we referring to? Center the energy at the point between the two eyebrows, the powers of intuition. Awake my sleeping powers, awake. To the best of your ability, relax the muscles of the legs. Let all the fluids of the blood and the lymphatic system, of even the prana, begin to drain back down the legs, to be circulated and refreshed. An alchemical exchange or processing. Especially in this pose, we can feel the point in the medulla as it has pressure resting on the ground. And let's intend to soften here and really receive great flows of energy into the body. So the gentle way to lower down when you do find that you're ready is just to bend the knees and release any binding of the hands, holding of the hips. Some of us really enjoy plow pose in our practice, and plow is sort of this great transition from any sort of a shoulder stand. So if you do like to try the plow pose, you just send your feet up overhead, and I recommend keeping the elbows plugged into the ground for extra support. Not everyone's hips or legs will allow their feet to come down to the ground. Now, the easier version of plow pose is called tranquility pose, and you just hold the backs of your legs and rest on your upper back. So many different options here. If you're in plow pose and you want to take it to a new degree of expression, send arms up overhead and reach the hands towards the feet. And you should have more room to keep rocking back. Some of us, our chin might touch the sternum. And this is a great blessing in the practice, but it's not to be forced. Can you smile right now in the pose is a great measurement of whether or not it's serving to cultivate greater sense of inner joy. When you're ready to exit any of these poses, take your final little inquiries. If you want to twist in the body, you can sort of rock side to side and twist. If there's another expression, some of us are maybe hoping for a wheel pose and we want to lift in a wheel. I'm not going to demonstrate, but you're welcome to if it's in your practice. And making your way in to a final resting pose. Take your time. You have a couple minutes here to really ease into the final pose. At this point in the practice, the eyes are remaining closed, and really the big show is in the internal experience. When you do begin to find your way into Shavasana, extending one leg at a time, Shavasana is the posture of laying on your back with legs extended, palms upward lifted. It's a great time for a blanket over the body or socks or sweater. If you like to cover your eyes, you might take the sleeve of a sweater or part of a blanket. And the idea here is not to be so exhausted in your practice that you're sort of spilling out in this pose, but rather the body has become so relaxed by the soothing rhythm of the breath, by these various postures, that we can sort of forget about the body altogether. And lifting the inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows, you let your awareness, the witnessing aspect of you, just begin to dilate outward and expand beyond the boundaries of the skin. It's like your body's on a little charging dock. All the cells are being rejuvenated. And in the meantime, your awareness is free to expand into great inner explorations. One last point of guidance. As the body relaxes, keep the awareness vibrant, relaxed, but deeply present. This is not a posture of sleep, but of super consciousness.
Without moving any part of the physical body, remain completely still. Feel the divine rays of pure consciousness shining through the skin like the surface of the ocean. Rays of light extending down in to the depths of your body, feeling the body as a vast reservoir of bliss,
Great blessings and celebrations from saints and sages of all traditions, from legions of angels, celebrating your return into the light. Just take a few moments to be in this space and bathe in this light. There are particular teachers that guide you. Feel their presence superimposed in your body. Experiencing them with the spiritual sight at the point between the two eyebrows. The whole body sanctified. Let's begin to centralize our awareness into the spine. And feeling the length from the tailbone will rise through the physical body, up through the spine, through the heart and throat, from the base of the skull to the point between the two eyebrows. As you feel the breath returning into your experience, imagine the spine giving off little pulsations of energy, growing greater and greater, extending into the arms and the legs. You can start to wake up the body with little articulations of fingers and toes, feeling everything originating from this inner energy, this inner consciousness and awareness. When it's natural, you can extend arms up overhead along the earth and reach through tips of the fingers and tips of the toes, feeling the body rejuvenated and awakened. Knees come in towards the chest one at a time, as is natural. And we'll just take a moment, rocking a little bit on the body to wake the body up. And we'll roll off to our right side for just a moment of respite here. And gradually, as is natural when you feel inhalation coming into the body, let's affirm an upward rising posture, coming into seated pose. Palms can face up on the lap as you arrive, drawing upward turn palms right to the top of the thigh. Elbows slightly drawn behind the body, keep the heart lifted. Chin gently drawn towards the neck so that the back of the throat can expand. And finally, crown of the head lifting as your inner gaze looks to the point between the two eyebrows. We really feel the effects of this shift in our inner consciousness in this final seated pose. So we're going to offer some prayers out to our community, out to the world, joining hands together in the center of the heart. Let's take a moment to cultivate not emotion, but devotional energy, which means drawing the energy in the heart up to the point between the two eyebrows. And letting all the saints and sages, the angels, guide our prayers. We pray in the present moment. Our earth is healed now. Souls everywhere uplifted in great waves of vital energy now. The frequency of our planet attuned to the golden age now. Great waves of love pulsing from the hearts of all souls now. We are free, ever free, right now. And so it is. Let's rub the palms together. We'll send waves of Om out to the earth, even through this vast cosmos. Let's dream of the divine. Let's extend our palms outward, taking a moment to feel any awakening of vibration in the palms. Feel that you are a channel for divine energy to pass through. We'll sound Om together, inhaling to begin. Hands back together in prayer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace to all beings. We'll take a gentle bow of our head towards our hands in prayer, but keep the inner gaze upward lifted. We bow to that place within us that is divine, that is the essence of who we are, that is already self-realized. We attune ourselves with that place. We honor this place in all beings by saying Namaste. Namaste. Take your time, slowly coming back. There is a meditation happening in about 5 or 10 minutes.